I don't know if we introduced everybody,
No, we
but
didn't.
that is Ivans. He's the master miller, and he's the only one that has an period dress. We're supposed to be, but it's a little warm and
What does
hot.
that mean, period dress?
I'm doing okay.
A long dress. I can show you my dress.
What does period dress mean?
Oh, Ivans is going to show you what his period dress is like
Okay,
in just a minute.
first off,
Catherine is right here, and she's not in period dress either. We're bad today.
that's all right. Comfort and safety is the important thing. So, 1880s clothing, what do you see I'm wearing that's different from what you usually see? The hat, right, the hat. Bowlers were very common back then, or derbies. The vest, yes, you almost always wore a vest. The chain, what's on the chain?
Compass.
It fastens onto your pocket. Anybody know what's in the other end of the chain?
A watch. A
The
watch.
pocket watch, right. It doesn't work, but you can see what it looked like. I'll have to walk around because I can't tell what time it is, right? It's in Roman numerals, too.
Cut it out. And make a model.
I know.
Nice thing about the chain is, if you falls out of your pocket, you don't lose it.
Excellent. That's what good listeners sound like.
There's something else you probably don't notice. Everything is suspenders. There's no zippers, Velcro, or anything like that. It's all buttons. Suspenders buttoned on. Shoes are a little bit different, not too much. The glasses actually are modern glasses, but they do look the old-fashioned. So that's basically the clothes. The dresses were long dresses also. There's one nice thing about the bowler or the derby. They have this brim on them. There's a lot of places I can hit my head in the middle when I'm working on stuff. You'll hit the brim and it gives you a little cushion. It gives you a little warning before you actually hit your head. So it's like a little radar screen. Same on the top. This will cave in a few inches before you hit your head. So it tells you you're about to hit something, and usually it'll give you enough time to keep from getting a bad bump. And Betty has her dress over there.
And this is the dress, typical what they would be wearing, and what I should have on. And you apron. And this is to keep your dress clean. Not iron. And this is a work dress. And black shoes. Okay, but that's a typical dress.
On the hat, I made a mistake. This is a derby and not a bowler. This one's the bowler. You see the difference? The top is a little flatter. Plus this one's newer, but anyway. The top is flat on the bowler and rounded on the derby. I got it right. Actually, my mistake. They're both labeled derbies, so one of them's a mistake. One of them, I think this is really the bowler, and this is actually the derby is flatter across the top. Go ahead.
Okay, now, you know where we are. We're in a town called Chester. And you came from East Orange? East Orange would be that direction, that way, this way. And this area right over there, you can point to the visitor center, right there. And that would be, this is our Abram Cooper's Visitor Center. So I just want to orientate you to the map. And then the mill is on down there. And what do you think that black, or that blue line is going down?
Oh, river. Black river.
Black River. Do you know why that's here?
Lean back. Sit back. Angela.
Pardon me?
Lean back.
You got it.
Keep your hands off.
That's how for the water, because back in the 1880s, over 100 years ago, there was no what? Electricity. And everything was powered by the water. And that's why we have the river running right along the mill. And the mill is right there. And I'll tell you what, I will be giving you, for the teacher, one of these. And that's a picture of the mill that you people can color. She'll make copies of it for you. This is on hard stuff. And you can color it, cut it out, and guess what you have? A little model of the mill. And that's what you're going to see working. And it's all powered by water. And there's 4 floors in the mill, and you'll be going through all 4 floors and seeing how everything operates. So this is, right? I think that's for you. I just don't have enough to give everybody. Okay. Now, also along this river, there were other mills. Opposite the gristmill, we can point it out to you when we get down there, is a sawmill. Why do you think they need a sawmill? To make, no, the gristmill is to make bread. A sawmill to cut wood. Because you wouldn't want to do it by hand all the time.
And what are you going to make from wood that you need?
Houses, exactly.
The houses, right?
This is made of wood.
2 most important things to you is food and your house, shelter, and then water. So the gristmill for food, the sawmill for shelter.
And on a nicer day that's not this humid, we have a lot of hiking trails. And you can hike all the way down to the Cape Ponds Dam, which is right there. And along this river, they were making iron. And we can show you some of the exhibits in there. And when you walk along that trail, it's a railroad bed. And we can show you these exhibits and explain to you what we got from Cape Ponds Dam when they redid it. But we're not doing that today, it's too muggy. Anything else?
That's it.
Oh. Now, around here there will be a lot of farms. And the farmer would grow here food, exactly. What would they grow? Corn and vegetables. And wheat. Wheat, do you like wheat bread?
Oat, carrots, wheat,
Any kind of flour.
tomatoes,
And they would be put in a bag that looks like this.
That's not. Is that really flour inside?
No, this would be the wheat seeds where the farmer would bring to the mill. And this would be very heavy. This would weigh 100 pounds, but we don't have wheat in here.
Paper.
We do. It's simulated wheat. And you're going to be seeing these bags down there, and you're going to be bringing it in. Okay? By using, I'm not going to tell you. When we get down there, we'll figure it out. Okay? Is there anything else you want to say?
That's it. Or is that to go to the mill?
Well, no.
Okay.
They want to see this exhibit. They were looking at it.
A little bit. Stay here. I just want to pick up one thing to show you over here. Iron
We'll talk about
comes
that in a minute.
from the ground and it's mixed with rocks. So I'll show you a piece of iron ore. Look like this. You've got a lot of rock here too and iron. You don't want the rock, you just want the iron. So you're going to break this up, and then heat it, melt the iron. You heat it real hot, it melts the iron and the rock. And that's done in a big furnace. On the top is slag, on the bottom is slag. That's the trash stuff. In the middle is the iron. So you take the iron, liquid iron out of the middle, and you're going to use that part. What's left over is the slag. So let me come back to this side. The big thing is the slag at the bottom of the furnace. It's this one, called the mosser. And then you've got the other slag here. Now you got that molten iron. You want to run it, you want to make it into bars. You have 2 big rollers like this one. That'll roll it into bars of iron, sort of like this. This is not an actual bar that would be rolled on that, but sort of like this. You roll it into a bar, and then you can use that bar to make things from. And that is iron. You can see the rust falling off. We take it to the blacksmith or to a machine. 1880s we had machines to do this. You make all kinds of things out of it, like bolts at the end there, eye bolts, chains, spikes, railroad rails. This is a small section of a small railroad rail. This will be for, like at the mines here or something, a small operation. For a train to go over, it would be bigger than this one. And then spikes which hold those rails in place in the ties. Any questions before we go on down to the mill? Okay.
And this was the railroad beds, right over there, the Chester Railroad. And if you ever do that hike, you'll be walking on the Central Branch.
Not sure.
I think
Branch
so.
just goes down to the mine.
It's down to the mines.
Yeah. And then there were two railroads came in. One into one side of Chester and the other in from High Bridge, this side. Thank you for going over there. Look.
Oh, she did it back.
We're going to make things like cannon barrels, anything out of iron. A lot of times they'll use a pattern which would look like this. No, I can't because there's too many little pieces on it. This pattern would be used for making a gear. What they do is put that in sand, a special kind of sand, and put a top on it too to make it look just like that. You're going to take the top off, pull this pattern out, and you've got a hole in the sand that looks exactly like this gear. So you're going to put the pattern back together again. You've got a couple holes, vent holes to pour the iron in. You'll pour the iron in. It'll flow around inside that pattern and harden in the exact shape of the gear. So that's how you make that's what you use the patterns for. It's done the same way today. Okay, let's watch the door. You can go ahead out. I'll be right behind you. Let me squeeze over that way.
Campers, we have rules.
Stay with
Listen,
us.
please.
Don't go ahead of us. Catherine, Betty, or I, don't go ahead of us. The other thing, don't climb on the walls or anything like that. We're going up and down stairs with wooden handrails. Don't slide your hand. You might get a splinter. So hop your hand along when we go down the rails, but hold on. And don't crowd the guy in front of you. And the other thing, we're stopped here also. Just get everybody on this side of the parking lot. We're going to walk down to the mill, but we're going to stay on this side in case some cars turn in the driveway. So stay over this way.
We need to line. We need to get into line, boys and girls.
Okay, let's get in line. That's a good
We need
idea.
to get in line.
Let me get up here.
Line right here. Let's get in line. Oh, this looks scary to me. What?
What's the tunnel link for?
We're going to find out in a little while. Actually going to go through there. Okay.
Clothes, you can go in there. We got something else today.
Can you gather them around?
Sure, bro.
Like
Come
go,
up for a big group.
go.
Come on
Like,
around.
Come on up now. Come on up. Let's go. Don't remember.
You gotta have like personal space. Okay?
I move my hands. I don't want to bang into anybody.
So just come around. Little people in the front, taller people in the back.
Yeah, shorter ones in the front.
Make grains.
We take grains and do what with it?
Make flour.
Make it into flour. Yes, make it grains into flour. Can somebody name one of the grains we might be grinding? Wheat, yes. Sometimes barley. Something rye. Rye, wheat, and are the two main ones that we would grind here. We also grind, oh, I know the other one is yellow. What's the other one? I knew there was one we were missing. Corn, yes. Corn, oats, corn, wheat, and rye are the ones we usually grind. Oats and barley are also grains, and we do grind them sometimes. This is wheat seeds. We give everybody a chance to see what they feel like. So just stay where you're at, and we'll make sure we get to everybody. Reach through there. I'll come around in the back too for anybody that didn't get a chance here. So if you're in the back row, just wait a minute. If you're in the second row, if you can reach through easily. But do you think you can make bread out of this stuff the way it is now? What do we have to do to it first? Grind it, right? We're going to show you some really old-fashioned ways of grinding it.
You're supposed to be in the back.
He is in in the
Come
back.
around here. I'm going to go down the back road too. Same family. Corn is the only one in that family that's much different. Did you feel it?
Why just put them back? Michael, mind your business.
Anybody else back here that didn't feel it? Now there's two ways of grinding it up here. One of them Catherine has. It's called a mortar and pestle. Catherine's holding on to the pestle. The other part is the mortar. Put the seeds in there. And what do you think you do with it? Pound it, right? So, just like that. We're going to give everybody a chance to do it too. Don't worry, we'll give everybody a chance. Let me show you the other way first. I'm sorry.
So you'll be a pro at this.
The other way is over here. Dump the water off.
Well, this one's different. Oh, cool.
This one's called a saddle stone, or metate. You put the seeds on the saddle stone. How does this one work? Like that?
Yeah.
And what's going to happen? Watch. I just lost a lot of grain. That may be what you need to eat this winter too. If you're getting very hungry, you just lost a lot. So this one you do a little bit differently. You actually just slide it like that. And try to keep it on the stone. Just brush it back in every so often. So what we'll do is have a line form where Catherine's standing. Single line.
Everybody will get a chance,
already
I
in
promise.
mine.
Everybody will get a chance.
Go to the end.
I won't skip anybody.
And
Good job. Go try that one.
line over here. Line over here.
There you go. Great. Might have enough for a whole cookie after this.
As you can probably see, it's going to take you a long time to do enough for a loaf of bread. So at the mill, everybody can come back up here again for a minute.
Pay attention.
Come on up.
Ladies.
At the mill, we're also using rocks. They're much bigger, like these over here. You think you could push those?
Yes. Yes.
Possibly, but they're very hard for me to push. So, the rocks are like this. Come on over here a minute. Come back a second. It's like you were doing here. One rock just sits there. It doesn't move. The other rock moves, except it doesn't go back and forth, it goes around, it spins in a circle. The seeds go down the center and out between the two stones, and it slices them in the flour. You think that way might be faster? Yes. We're going to use water to power those rocks and make them turn. Does anybody know when the mill was built? Giving you a hint.
1826.
Giving you a hint. 1826. It's right up there at the top of the building. See it up there on the top?
1826.
We're going in there too. What's the initials of the man who built the mill? Nathan Cooper, right, NC. Nathan Cooper. Isn't Nathan Cooper too? Okay, Nathan, great, thank you.
Instead of pushing the stones, we're going to use water power. So I'm going to show you where the water is.
And you just okay?
Samuel. This is our mill pond. This is where we get the water from that's going to run our mill. So this is all part of the Black River. So do you know why they named it the Black River? Yeah, look at the color of the water, right? It's a nice golden brown color. That's because Chester was an iron mining area. Remember in the visitor center we looked at all that iron? All those tools that were made out of iron? Well, the iron is in the ground here, and that iron gets in the water and it makes it this brownish color. So the Native Americans named it the Black River. Also, there's a chemical found in the roots of the plants. It's called tannin. It actually makes the water brown as well. So the water goes over the waterfall, it goes underneath the highway, and it keeps going as the Black River. So we don't need the whole river, we just need a little bit. It's a chemical that just tints the water. It won't kill you necessarily if you drink a little of it, but I wouldn't go, drinking a whole lot of the river. There's other things in the river too that are probably worse for you, which we'll talk about.
Water snakes.
So we're just going to borrow a little bit of the water. If you look in the hill, kind of looks like there's a staircase in the hill. Everybody see that? It's concrete. There's a little box that's catching just a little bit of the water. And we're just borrowing a small amount that we're going to bring over to the water wheel. So we're not using the whole river. We're just using a little bit. To get the water from the river to the water wheel, we have something called a flume. Has anybody been on a flume ride? Where they're in the water and they send you down that big waterfall?
I didn't do that.
Remember, it makes a big splash?
Yeah.
Well, we have a flume here, but it's not for us to ride. It's just for the water. You'll see it. The flume will bring the water to the water wheel, and then it drops it on the water wheel. But you don't want to be riding around in that flume. So we have a lot of animals around here. One of the reasons why I wouldn't let you down here, we have a lot of animals at the mill. So we had a few here we were taming. What did you say it was?
Water snakes.
Water snakes. We have a lot of snakes out here. What other animals do you see, or what other animals do you think would be here?
Dark
Fish?
Dark frogs.
Crocodiles, frogs. Not quite alligators either, luckily. Luckily not the piranha either. Tadpoles, yes. How about another one with a hard shell on its back? Turtles. We have snapping turtles. We got some big ones.
And they can bite. They bite twigs.
The snapping turtles can actually really hurt you, which is another reason why we're not going to go swimming in this water.
Anybody ever went swimming in there?
They did in the 1800s. This used to be, you could swim in there. It also would freeze over in the winter. What could you do on a frozen pond?
Ice skating.
Right, you can go ice skating. So they would go ice skating on this as well.
I tried to do that. The ice cracked down, almost fell in the water.
Oh wow, that's scary.
You know that a snapping turtle jaw is almost really hard, so when they eat, their jaws actually press the turtle.
Yeah, it's very powerful, right? Punches.
Is this a wing?
Right under probably in the water, there's an island in the middle, there's probably animals there. We also get beavers and we also get deer around here as well. Well, I don't see any today, but sometimes you'll come out here, you'll see a beaver or you'll see some deer out here.
Nature.
Sometimes you'll get a lot of snakes out here too. So how about we go look at the flume next? We're actually going to follow Ivans back through the tunnel. Wait for Ivans though. And we're going to go look at that flume again.
Into this wooden box over here.
Somebody said it, I heard it.
The ice.
Nah?
Somebody said it, the flume,
The
right.
flume, right. What's in the flume? Water. Where did that water come from that's in there?
Black River.
The Black River from the mill pond. This is like an extension of the pond reaching out to bring the water over to the water wheel. So it's the same level of water in the flume as it is in the pond. At the other end of the flume is the water wheel. We're going to head around and take a look at the water wheel. So you can follow Catherine around, or follow me, I guess, around down the steps.
Wait a minute. How big do you think this thing might be? How much? Very close. 2,000. Even more.
3,000.
It weighs 2,000 pounds.
He just said
Sorry. It weighs 13,000 pounds. All right, which means it weighs 6 tons.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
As much as 6. That's nothing.
Is it 6 tons of iron? Okay, so it's 6 tons of iron. So let's make sure of my numbers. If you look at where Ivan's is inside, he's going to give you a little wave. He's going to pull a lever. If you look at the front of the flume, there's a little gate that's going to open up. There's a water bus. So when he opens the gate, the water will hit the water wheel. All right? If you notice inside the water wheel, does anybody know what that bar is called inside the water wheel? It's called an axle. Think of the simple machine, a wheel and axle. That big bar in the middle goes inside a window, and that's how the power gets inside. It's through the center of the water wheel that brings the power into the mill. So Ivan is going to start it for us. And you'll see our 6.5-ton water wheel start to turn. 13,000 pounds right there of iron.
Oh my God!
Definitely get a chunk stop in the tool box.
13,000 pounds!
Once it's going, it just goes. And it's so Alright, so we're going to follow Ivan's and we're going to go inside the mill and see what's happening inside. Alright, so you can go right over to Ivan's.
Everything is made up. Alright, listen to voices. Listen up. You're going to have to be real quiet so you can hear. Listen.
Okay, in the middle of the water wheel, what was that long rod called? The axle, right? That comes through the wall and turns these wheels inside. Let me stop the water wheel. So what is making everything in here turn?
The water.
The water turning the water wheel. So can you help me with something?
Over here, Nigel.
They need something. Pull this down for me. And, no, not right now. You can close it. Or,
Stop.
you done?
I want to do it. Move.
A
Stop.
little bit more? Very good. Okay, you can go back the other side now. Oh, we have to go through here. It's easier. This way, please. Lois. This way. Okay. Now, you just hook this again. And you just put that hook right there. And come on down this way. Down to this end again. What is this special kind of wheel called? Rhymes with year. Gears, yes, gears. Gears are just special wheels with bumps on it. What are the bumps called? Teeth. The teeth of one gear go between the teeth of another. So when this one turns, it'll push the tooth on the other gear and make it turn. These are replacement teeth. So you can just take a look at it and pass it down the line.
I'm gonna do is keep
You have to find the wrong line. You have to see. The dough can make different shapes. And then you can put it in cans and different shapes too. So that's how we get the power into the mill from water wheels through the axle, turning gears which turn the main shaft up through the floor. Okay, where we're going to go is see how the grain gets through the mill. So you go with Catherine up the stairs outside. Everybody hear that? Go ahead and explain it.
So the fireplace, if you're down here, it's also in the winter. You don't have anything called heat because heat was, we didn't have electric, you couldn't have a heater. So you have the fireplace there as well. It also tends to take the moisture out of the air so you don't get it as damp down here. And the thing covering it, that metal part, that's just so we don't get the embers or pieces of fire catching the rest of your mill on fire or any of us falling into the fireplace. Because that would not be very fun, right? No, that might be an ouch. So how about we head upstairs?
We have to bring those bags of grain here. So how will we get those bags of grain from your farm here? Your farm may be 5 miles away. You need a long rope, 5 miles of rope, and you're going to drag it all the way
How
from
do you
your
get it
farm.
here? How do you get
Let me
the
ask you
green
this way. How did you get here?
Go up there and then push.
By bus, right? You can bring it in your bus.
How do I get it from
So you bring in your bus here.
drive.
You
Let's go back.
We don't have
Hold on just a second. So let's go back 180 years. And what did we use?
The horse.
Horses and pulling what? Carts or wagons. Now, we'll bring it right here to the front. We have to get the bags upstairs.
Horse and wagon, right?
So, how do we get the bags of grain upstairs?
You have the answer.
Not the
You
wagon.
had the answer before.
The rope. The rope goes over a pulley. You just pull the rope up, pulls the bags of grain up. So what's going to pull the rope? A lot of places a person will pull the other end, but here we have power from something. So what do we use? What do we have power from? Somebody said the water, right? The water. So we're going to use the power of the water wheel to wind the rope up and pull the bags up for us. We'll see how that works after a while. But did you guys bring grain with you today to grind? If you did, and I'm going to grind it for you right now, we're just going to put it in the elevator inside. So come on in.
Can we sit down? Can we sit down?
On the floor, sure.
We can sit. Whatever.
Okay, so you'll bring your 100-pound bags of grain in here. Can you do something for me?
We asked for
Just
one
squeeze through here. I've got to
student.
get
Everyone else stay back. Samuelson, go up. Iris, do you want to hand me those blueberries, please? I can do it.
We'll be out of your way in just a second if you want. Just give you a chance to show the elevator. So, now, you were the one that was helping me?
Yes.
You'll bring your 100-pound bag of grain, and this is what they look like, and empty it into the hopper right here. So pretend to dump the grain in there. Just pick up the bag and pretend to dump it in. And you'd empty it into the hopper. We're going to give everybody a chance to look in here closer in just a minute. Okay, thank you. You can just sit it back down there and then go back in line. What I'm going to do next is start the water wheel. So sort of stay where you're at and watch over here. This is the window I looked out of when I opened the gate for you. So open the gate, and the machinery will start turning as soon as we have enough water, like that.
Look at that! Elevator!
Okay, let's back up for a second, that way everybody will be able to see easier. And you're going to hold that for me. What's going to happen? Everybody want to listen up here, please?
Campers, voices off.
Can you guys listen up this way so you can see what's happening? So So what we're going to do is empty the pellets into the hopper, and you'll see it go into the elevator, which is a long belt with cups on. See it going through here? Now when he dumps all of this in there, watch here closely. You'll see a couple of those cups going up filled with the pellets. So real quickly, dump them in. Now watch in here real closely. You'll see a couple of cups going up.
I see it.
That'll carry the seeds. Thank you. That'll carry the seeds upstairs.
I heard that.
Now, we're going to go upstairs and see what happens to those pellets. So,
Okay, now
take off the steps for me. Okay. What is, yeah, you can sit there. It's perfect. What is making all the machines up here turn? What are we using for power? Water. Turning that main shaft through the floors right here. That one. That powers all the machines up here. On this floor we're using flat wheels called pulleys. Something like this. Put a belt on the pulley. Turn the pulley like happening here. Belt is turning the pulley is turning the belt pulley. See the belt moving? But it's not connected to the other pulley. So we have to put it on the other pulley.
See how the belt is now on the wheel? He's putting the belt on that bottom wheel right now.
Good.
Now it's
See what happens?
moving. Right?
That powers all the machines.
We'll tell you in a second.
What do you think what the belts are made out of? Leather, yes. You can see what it feels like. I'm just going to walk along. You guys can stay there. You'll be able to feel it too. You feel it as it comes by? Big, thick piece of leather. This actually is one of the smaller belts.
We're not going to go. It's very hard to actually. I think you can do. I had to know. There we go.
Thank you.
Very much, yes. Alrighty, so I want to answer a few questions. I had very good questions from some of you who were up here. Like, what is this? What is this? What is this? Well, let me tell you. When you have your grain from the farm, is it clean for you already? Is it already clean? No. You got it. Right now, all of your grain is full of rocks. It's got twigs, branches, bugs. Do you want to eat all that? No. Good. No. So this machine here, it's a sifter. Have you ever been to the beach and you're sifting out rocks and shells and the sand falls through the little holes? Yeah, or you're looking for gold. Good, good. Panning for gold. Same idea. Instead of gold staying on top, though, we're just going to have all the rocks, the twigs, all the gross stuff you don't want to eat stays on top. The grain is going to fall through the holes, and the grain goes back in the elevator. So this is where it gets cleaned one time. Upstairs on our top floor, it gets cleaned a second time. 2 times we clean it. Once it's cleaned twice, your grain is now ready to grind. It's nice and clean. It comes down these 2 chutes. These are just big buckets to catch it. It goes downstairs into our millstone. Those big wheels you saw downstairs, it goes into those. It gets ground up into whole wheat flour. Now today we like whole wheat flour, right? It's the brown stuff. It tastes good. It's healthy for us. You don't like whole wheat flour? I do. Some of us like whole wheat flour better than the other, but personal choice, I guess. Well, back then they didn't know the brown stuff was healthy. They thought it was dirty. We know it's healthy today, but back then they thought it was dirt. So they wanted to get rid of all the brown stuff. They wanted to make it white flour. What would you do to make white flour? Brown flour to white flour. What can you do today? Or what would you do? Separated, right? Good. Well, you got the answer for everybody. Good job. So we need to separate it. We need to get rid of the brown stuff. We got to find a way to get it out. These are our elevators here. You saw it downstairs? This tube behind it is bringing all that white flour up, and the white flour drops down into this machine. The scoops will go back down to get another load. We're not running flour through this today because it gets very, very dirty otherwise. But back then, you would have all your brown flour in here. Those paddles, they're pushing it. This is called an auger. It pushes it horizontally. It pushes all that flour into the machine that's by Ivan's. This machine is called a bolter. This is what does the sifting. This is what's getting rid of the brown stuff. This is what's keeping all the white stuff through the holes. So all your white flour is coming through the holes. The white flour goes in the chutes, and all the brown stuff, that stuff they didn't want to eat, stayed inside. And then you can feed it to your animals. So actually your animals were eating better probably than you, healthier. So downstairs you'll see, when we go back down there later, you'll see a bunch of little cups and chutes. That's where you would bag your flour when it's done.
You over here, I'll stop and see what the paddles look like. These are the paddles. So watch here closely, and I'll stop it for a second.
Down those tubes downstairs. You'll see it good.
And then we'll let you pass around some of the paddles so you can see what they look like.
So these paddles, those are what's in here. That's what's on the auger. What are they made out of? Wood. Right? So if you break one, you can replace it pretty quickly, right? Well, you'd have to carve it out, yeah. You can make a new one. You could make a new one. Yep, there you go. You go right to the sawmill, you can saw some wood, and then you can make it.
Is this something like a
Kind of. It goes, see how it's flat like this? It goes right into this machine here. It's one of those little paddles and it looks around. So it's scooping or it's pushing the flour. That's called, it's just a little part of the auger. It's part of that machine. It's a paddle.
It's sort of like a little spatula that pushes to push the
Exactly
flour.
what they just said, yeah.
Okay, good, good.
Got that. Like a
Perfect.
little scoop almost.
Yes.
It's flat.
Thank you, perfect.
You got a chance? Everybody here got a chance? Feel it? Everybody else got a
Looks
chance?
like we're getting reflected in the back.
Let's see it. That's a flashlight. Flashlight. And if I do this, you get the point right with your finger.
one more paddle?
That's a modern tool. That they didn't have these in the 1800s.
This. As Catherine mentioned, today we've realized the bran is the more nutritious part, so we leave it in today.
So what did you think they might add to it to make it look whiter? What do you think they might add? Oh, what do you think they might add to it to make it look whiter? Sugar would be delicious. Oh, I wish they did that. How about something your teacher might write on a board with? Chalk! They would add chalk and they would add plaster just to make it look whiter. Yeah, I know. I wouldn't want to eat that either.
Like today, if you look at the ingredients of a lot of things, you'll see food coloring. That's basically what they thought they were doing. Making it whiter. They wanted it as white as they could get it. Today it's bleach with peroxide and chlorine compounds if you have bleached flour.
That's the kind of bleach.
Today, the stuff that we use, it's the bleach and chlorine. Back then, they would do chalk and plaster. But today, in our mill, we just leave it as whole wheat. We don't use the white.
Good question. Okay.
It's like white bread? Yeah, that's we take the brown out, and then you end up with the white flour, and that's where you get the white bread. You're right.
And then you add a couple vitamins back to it. They're called enriched. Take a lot out and put a couple back in. Okay.
There's a belt.
Here too.
So I had a very good question.
So did I. If you watch here, to answer your question, watch here, you notice a little bit of leather flap out. This one is buckled together like a belt. So you'll see those flaps come out once in a while. The other ones are laced together. Catherine can show you that.
They would put it together and they would tie it, and what you see flapping right there, that's the ties that were tying it together. So, if you can see that back there, but they tie the melts together.
Lazy Catherine has to see some of
This is a
it right
regular
here.
melt. It's like the one we already felt that came around. This one has some ties in it.
How many states do we have? How many stars do we have? I didn't hear 50, right, okay. 1880s, we didn't have as many states. Does anybody know how many states we had in 1880s?
13.
How many stars do you see here? That's
13 original colonies, but we had more states in 1880 than that. And there is a star, as Catherine said, for each state. So how many stars?
42.
Now, I'll tell you why in just a minute.
It's the star is telling 40. 42.
Anybody count
Not
with me?
42.
30. 36.
38.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you why 42 is not correct.
39.
You probably added 7 by 6. Multiply it. Doesn't work because it's not in rows. It's in a ring in the middle. You ring around that, then a ring around that. So you can see this row doesn't go straight across.
So
The
when
other
the mill was
design was
around,
in
that's what
rows.
it looked like. When the mill was around, this mill was built, this is what your flag would have looked like. It didn't look like it looks like today.
Or they could have been in rows because they had both designs. But this is one of the designs, as Catherine said, for the 1880s. Yes?
That's 7 colonies.
All the way over there against the stairs? That's another flower zipper. It's a little more modern than this one.
No. It's the same machine, does the same thing. The same job. It's kind of cute.
Okay.
This is that simple.
On this floor, we're using a simple machine. Does anybody know what they are?
It's up over it. It's another one.
Wheel and axle, right, wheel and axle. Okay, we're going to go upstairs and I'm going to show you a couple more things. So you follow Catherine upstairs.
Other grain cleaner, sorry. Well, here it is in the middle. That's a different grain cleaner. So before you grind it up, this is what you have to use to clean it. This one's different than the other one. The other one was shaking back and forth. This one is going to be spinning around because it has little brushes inside. It's going to brush off the dirt and the dust. And these little paddles create this fan feeling, and it sends all that dirt and dust shooting right out the window. So it's brushes and a fan in there that are cleaning your grain.
See, it pushes out the window. It goes out the window.
Yep, pushes it right out the window. So you
Are
don't
you giving us back? Oh, I see. It's going to
The
be back.
seeds, though, the dust that we brushed off is real light, so that's blown away by the fan. The seeds are heavier, so they fall down. They'll go down through the millstones. Then how do we get those seeds back up here?
By the elevator.
By the elevator. This one or this one? Down the chute to the bolter. This one is the one that brought the grain up to the first cleaner. Those pellets you put in, this would bring the grain to the first cleaner.
So this is what the top of the elevators look like. You can see 2 here, 1 there. Also, if we look in the back here, somebody asked how we get the power up here. Take a look what's this back here. That big pole, that's being turned by the water wheel. The pole is then turning what? What are these called again?
Pulley. Wheel and axle.
Gears. Good. It's then turning your gears. The gears are then turning your, I heard somebody else say it, we started with a P.
Pulley.
It then turns your pulleys, and your pulleys are then turning your machinery. So this pulley is turning those elevators. It's turning the melt inside. This pulley is turning the melts in here.
What simple machine is a gear? Same as a pulley.
Wheel and axle.
Wheel and axle, right. Remember the bag out front? We said we can bring that up by water power? It sits right there as a doorway. We're going to lower it down so you can see how that works. That rope that it's on across the ceiling winds up on this drum over here.
And then it fills it up.
Okay, Catherine's going to empty it down, lower it down. And watch, you see this drum unwinding up here as the bag goes down? Of course, you have to pretend that the bag is not down the rope.
I see them fully empty. I see them fully empty.
Okay, now I have to pretend one thing for us. That the bag was not on the rope. Somebody downstairs fastened the bag onto it. And then, when we're ready to bring it up, the belt over here that's hanging loose, we just tighten that belt and start winding the rope and pull the bag up for us. So, sort of in rows, what we'll do is let everybody give this a try on this. Probably start with the gentleman back there.
So I don't have to pull it constantly, I just have to hold it down. Alright, so I'm going to let you grab this. My hand's here just in case you slip. Pull as hard as you can, and just hold it like that, and there it goes.
It's going up.
Yeah, the bag is winding up. Great. Next person. Because right now it's not turning. Good, and just hold it like that. A little tight. There we go.
I can see the rope coming up.
It's going. Great. Next person. Great, just get a nice big tug.
Michael.
There you go, it's going. Just one big tug, you hold it and it goes. You got it. Great. Alright, nice big tug, nice big tug. Gotta hold it nice and firm. There you go.
See the rope coming up?
Good job. Let me send the bag back down. Everybody see the bag up here? It's turning. Good job. Good job.
You guys don't want to pull it?
Big tug. Great. Wow, you got it easy, right? You just kind of hang down. Good job. Nice. All right. Good job. Good job. Well, I think we got the bag up, so I'll take it. Big tub.
That has already gone in the bag where you want to turn a pulley. Take a look at that wood pulley and turn it by hand.
Nice.
Then step back so somebody else can turn it.
If you turn it, go back and sit. Go back and sit.
Nice job. My girls are doing this one-handed. Great. It's turning really fast.
If you got a chance to touch it and turn it, go back and sit. Okay?
Hands are behind.
Oh, the bag is back. All right, that's 3 bags. Right, or was that 4? How many did we do?
4.
This is 4?
Everyone's gonna get a chance to relax.
Now is it going? Come sit by me. I miss you.
All right. There we go. One-handed pull. One-handed pull. Good job. It's turning. There it goes. Great job.
It's about to come up.
All right.
Next.
Oh, that's so easy.
You got it. It's turning.
It's okay to make the bag touch. How did they make it?
Great job. Nice tug. There it goes. You might actually bring the bag up. Yep. I'll let you bring it up. All right, we got another bag. Good job. Yeah. What do you mean it's not real? Yes, the outside of the mill is real. We redid the floors, otherwise at that point we'd be falling through. Good job. We had to redo the floors, but the mill is real. It's original to the 1826. All right, next. Going pretty fast. Great. Nice job. Nice big tub. Oh, and we got the bag again.
People here are going to pull this rope down.
Listen up, campers. Listen.
Voices on.
I think you hit the end. Did it go? You know what you did? What's happening over there?
It's stopping.
Stopping, right? This is the same rope that someone pulled downstairs. We can turn off the waterway from any of the floors. It's not an original thing. It's something we've added to make our life easier. Okay. Can you just take this loop off and put it over there, please?
So how about we see some grain actually get ground up into flour now?
Yay.
All right, so follow Ivan down the stairs. And we're going to see
Now we've cleaned all the grain. It'll come down the chute into a hopper. This is what a hopper looks like inside. You can see it on the floor there. It's a big funnel-like thing with a hole in the bottom. The seeds will come out. It's like a big funnel, that's all. The seeds come down from the containers upstairs into the hopper. See the seeds here? Right in those wheat seeds again. You can stay there, just be careful of the stairs. Don't fall down the stairs, that's all we need to go. But you can stay there. So the seeds come down into the hopper. Underneath the hopper we have a little trough thing called a shoe. Which is that thing right there. Got another one over here, so I'll show you the other one. This is the shoe. That's what it looks like. The seeds will come out of the hopper onto the shoe. This is like a sliding board for the seeds. If the sliding board's steep like this, do you slide faster or slow? Fast. So more seeds will slide in. If we raise it up like this, slide slower, so less seeds go into the millstone. Also, at the end of the shoe, right here, we have a piece called a damsel. And it's a wooden thing right there. That does something to the shoe. So pretend you guys are sitting on the shoe and let me know what you feel. This is another damsel. What did you feel? Vibration or bumping, right?
Vibration.
Thank you. So the damsel will vibrate the shoe like this. So watch closely. I'll vibrate the damsel. I'll tap the shoe like the damsel would. You're going to watch right here. So the damsel taps the shoe. Can you see what's happening? See the seeds dropping off? If you can't see them, maybe I'll have to stand up a little bit there. See the seeds dropping off? They go down the hole in the center of the stone. Between the two stones, and they're ground. What do the millstones do to the seeds?
They grind it up.
Grind them into what?
Flour.
Flour, right? Now let me show you how the two millstones work. So come over this way, you'll see the two millstones. Okay. So if you want to see the two millstones, come on over. I guess it's just us, okay. One millstone is this one. The other one is from here down. Right here below my fingers, the other millstone. The lower one just sits there. It's the one on top that turns. And if you watch closely, I'll turn it. You'll be able to see the one on top turning. The other one just sits there. Like that. So as the seeds go down the center, it goes out between the two, and it's sliced and ground into flour. what we're going to do is go downstairs and get it set up to grind. While we're down there, you can take a look at one of the millstones over here. And also there's a game over here of checkers. While the farmers are waiting for their grain to be ground, they can play checkers and catch up on all the gossip and news.
So when we're upstairs, when we were giving you the tour, nothing was going into the millstones. So what Ivans did is he ran downstairs. He's making it so those gears, the teeth meet up. So when they turn, they're going to be turning the millstone. So we're actually going to really grind flour there. We put the wheat seeds in, and we're really going to use those big 1-ton millstones to grind flour. But Ivans needs to set it up first. That's why he went downstairs. We will a little later, but right now we're going to look at what's going to happen over here. So what I would do is, if you want good front row seats, I would line up on the rope over there. Don't push. And we're going to see their seats.
Water!
Open the gate again. Hear the water outside?
Yeah.
As soon as you have enough water, watch over here.
Oh, it's moving! I see the flowers. You mean green flowers? Yeah, I see it. I see the green flowers. That's magic. Right there.
Exactly. This is one meal chute or flour chute. This is the other one. This is the one we'll be using today. So the flour just comes down the chute. How do we get it back up to the bowl through the big flour sifter?
The shoe. Wait, that's the shoe, the cup.
The elevator, right. The whole thing's an elevator. Here's the elevator to carry it back up.
Oh,
It's a cup on a long belt.
I see the leftover flour.
It goes through a chute into the elevator.
Yeah,
We're going to use it as whole wheat flour, so it just goes right here, and we're going to put it in the bags from here. Okay, so what makes it all go?
The water.
The water, right. So let's start it up. All clear, Catherine. You're going to hear the water rushing outside.
Oh, I see the water.
Yes. Maybe a little bit of screeching, and all the gears will start turning.
Oh, it's going fast. Oh, what's up? Because he put green stuff or that one.
Okay. We had a very good question. Why is this gear not turning? So why is it not turning?
Because you have some black.
Because you didn't put that wood.
You didn't put the green stuff.
Okay, let me say it this way. The teeth of one gear have to go between the teeth of another gear, so it turns the other gear. What do we have to do to that gear?
We need to
Put another teeth in.
Make it which?
Put another teeth in it.
How do we get the teeth together? They're like this, and which way do we move it?
Down.
Down, right. Move it down. We aren't running this millstone today, but that's how we would if we were going to run it, is just lower the gear down. Now, watch. I'm going to use a simple machine to lift that gear up. So, we're going to raise the gear on this side. What simple machine am I using to raise it up? Begins with an L.
A pulley. He's got it. Over here. A lever.
A lever, yes.
I said
Big
that.
lever, we raise it up like that. And now, you can see how the water
it's
moves
moving.
around without burning the millstone.
Where's the water?
So I can run with one set of millstone millstones, both sets of millstones, or just the other one? By just raising and lowering gears. Whereas when we went through the mill upstairs, we're just turning the millstone, turning the machinery. Anybody want to guess how many pounds of grain I can grind in 1 hour?
Yes.
50.
50. 50 pounds.
Thank you.
150.
How much?
100.
More.
200.
More than 200. Actually, hold on a minute.
300.
Hold on a minute. He said 200. Add another 200 to that. What do you have?
400.
400. 200 plus 200 is 400, right? So 400 to 500 pounds an hour. Okay, we'll give you a chance to see what the flour feels like. There you go. Stay in the line you're in, and I'll just come down the line. Leave it in the bucket. Okay, we'll come back for you guys. And I'm going to come around the post for you. So.
What are you doing? You said stay.
So you guys wait there. I'm going to come around to the other side here.
You said stay. You said stay.
No, because it's had all kinds of hands and 100 hands. I don't know if any of them are clean. But I don't know about the other people. Okay, that's whole wheat flour. Did we miss a couple people at this end? No, because it's had a lot of hands in it. Most of them have been dirty.
We're having a lunch now. Who has something that is made out of wheat for lunch? Bread. What else? Anybody have anything else? You have bread? Cookies. Cupcakes. All right, so think about it. All right, everybody? When we head up to the visitor center, I want you to think about what you're eating and if it's made out of wheat. All right? Please be careful in the parking lot. We do not want to get hit by cars, so what we're going to do is